Once a queen bee is born, when she reaches the ripe age of about 7 days old, she'll go on a mating flight, and she may go on only 1, possibly 2 mating flights in her entire life. She'll fly out of the hive and she'll go to a drone congregation area. It's an area where there's a bunch of drone male honeybees flying around just waiting for a queen bee to fly by. These drone congregation areas exist about 100 feet in the sky, which is another reason you would never see a male honeybee. But if a queen bee flies by, the fastest, strongest drones win. The queen will mate with only about 15 to 20 drone bees, and she'll have enough sperm to last the rest of her life. And what happens to the male bees is once they mate with a queen, their endophallus rips out of their abdominal cavity and they fall to the ground, and that's the end of their little bee life.
Whoa, so they die during mating.
They die during mating.
Hey there, nature lovers. Have you ever wondered what happens to male bees when they get kicked out of the hive? Well, buckle up, because today, I'm revealing the shocking truth. First off, let's talk about these male bees, or drones as they're called. They exist for one main purpose, mating with a queen. That's it. No collecting nectar, no building hives, just mating. Sounds like a cushy life, right? Well, not quite. Come autumn, the hive gets ready for the harsh winter months. Resources become scarce and the hive needs to conserve energy. So guess who gets the boot? Yep, those non-essential drones. The worker bees, who are all female, literally kick the drones out. And what happens next is both fascinating and a bit tragic. Once outside, these male bees have no way to defend themselves, find food, or survive the cold.
Did you know that male honeybees are called drones? The primary focus for a drone is to mate with a queen. He waits high above the ground in the DCA. DCA is Drone Congregation Area, and during this mating activity, thousands of male bees will compete to mate with a queen. They don't fight, they simply see who can fly closest to successfully mate. Drones are the larger bees hanging around hives. They live there during the spring and summer but regularly leave to find DCAs. Drones are often considered layabouts when it comes to work around the hive. However, when temperatures rise in the hive, all bees, including drones, may help with the cooling effort by flapping their wings. When a drone mates with a queen and releases his semen, it happens with such a force that his endophallus is ripped from his abdomen and he dies shortly after. In the fall, when foraging becomes scarce, drones become just another mouth to feed, and worker bees kick drones out of the hive, leading to their death.
This is 2 Peter 2:12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. So I'm going to read this again. This is 2 Peter 2:12. But these, as natural brute beasts, and that's the state that Jake is in. Okay, Jake is a complete beast. All right, Jake only deals, with the lower functions of their body, like an animal does. Okay, they're not capable of higher thought. They're not capable of tapping into, really anything spiritual. Okay, Jake is pretty much down here just to fulfill the lust of the flesh. Okay, eat, sleep, and procreate. Okay, like an animal does. All right, and that procreation is at the top of Jake's list. Okay, it says, but these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. And you individuals that are in that state, Yahweh Shem Yahawashi is going to destroy you. All right, because you are not fulfilling the purpose that Yahweh Shem Yahawashi created you for. Okay, the Most High didn't put you down here just to, have sex, okay, and eat and enjoy yourself down here. Okay, you have a job to do as an Israelite. All right, so since you're not fulfilling that role, Yahweh Shem Yahawashi is going to destroy you. Okay, it says, speak evil of the things they understand not, and that's what Jake does. Since they don't understand what we're about, okay, they don't understand the truth, okay, they don't understand the scriptures, okay, what do? They speak evil of it. They talk shit, okay, they scoff, they scorn, they try to make a mockery of this thing, all right, and it says, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption, so they're going to be destroyed, All right, and what sparked this lesson, was an interaction that we had at camp this past Saturday. It was an individual bugged out northerner. He came, he didn't really say nothing. He looked at the signs, and then he left, and he was off to the side a little bit, and he made the statement. He said, "These dudes don't get no pussy," which that's Jake. Okay, Jake's sole focus down here is to pop some chicks, to get some box, which is the reason why, I put that clip in there about the drone bee, okay, or the male bee. All right, his whole purpose, he exists to just have sex and then he dies. All right, and that's the mentality of the majority of the men of our nation. Okay, you exist solely down here. Your whole existence is surrounding pussy, man. Okay, that's not what Yahweh Shem Yahushua created you for. Okay, and any individual that's thinking like that, you on a low vibration. You're in a state of an animal. That's how animals think. If you ever seen dogs, okay, and the female gets in heat, and see how the males react, that's Jake 24/7. Okay, he just think about sex constantly. All right, and he's not worried about anything else. Okay, definitely not worried about the things that pertain to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, he's definitely not worried about, gaining the understanding of the scriptures. He ain't worried about salvation. Okay, he's not worried about doing the things that please the Heavenly Father and His Son. He's all about pleasing himself. All right, which there's things down here on earth that's worth more than box. Okay, but not to a so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, which is the reason why I brought out 2 Peter 2:12. Jake is in a beast-like state. Okay, but these things that you attach yourself to or that you put at the center of your world is not going to save you. Okay, the main thing that you're supposed to be going after, the thing that's supposed to be your focal point, is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, but Jake is incapable of reaching that level of thought because they in a beast-like state. Okay, this is the book of Proverbs 4:7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing, and Jake has made their principal thing box. Okay, and when you think about it, it's really low level. Okay, here it is. Your whole life is surrounded around what a woman has between her legs, man. Okay, she can use that to manipulate you and have you do things that you wouldn't normally do. Okay, so you'll throw out all reasoning just to get that thing in between her legs. Okay, because that's what your life is like, the fucking drone bee. Okay, Jake's a fucking drone bee, man. All right, all they just there to procreate. All right, they eat, they sleep, and then they have sex, and that's the end of Jake's life, man. There's nothing else, else out there for them to do outside of that. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to look the word up, principle. I'm gonna just look it up in a dictionary. All right, and these are, this is the type of wisdom that Jake lacks. Okay, the Bible don't say that box is the principal thing. Okay. So the main thing that you should be searching for is one of these women out here, okay, to try to get in between a woman's legs, at any cost. Nah, okay, there's more important things to worry about than what's in between a woman's legs, man. But not for Jake, okay, because again, Jake's a fucking drone bee. All right. So this is the definition for principle. This is from the freedictionary.com. It says main, okay, foremost. The person in charge, okay? First or highest in rank or importance. So the most important thing for you to get into, okay, and to absorb and experience, all right, is wisdom. But Jake rejects wisdom, okay? Jake has put other things at the forefront, mainly box, all right? That's how Jake measures himself and measures his worth, okay, based upon how much box he can get. All right, which that's some brute beast stuff. Okay, that's how animals function, man. Like you watch these animal documentaries, okay, especially amongst mammals. You got the main male, okay, or the dominant male. He gets to mate with all the females. All right, and he actually, they fight it out. Okay, rams, the other ruminant animals. Okay, even other, types of mammals. Okay, they'll fight it out, and then they'll be the dominant male. They get all the box. That's how Jake is, man. Okay, and then Jake, he holds that as a high status symbol. He lacks wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He's a complete fool. But he getting boxed though, so he good in his mind. All right. It says of relating to or being our financial principle, one who holds a position of presiding rank. Let's skip that. Yeah, so that's what it means. First importance, rank, value. Okay, so the chief thing that you're supposed to be searching for down here is not women. Okay, it's not box. All right, but Jake is incapable of understanding these things. Jake's a drone B. All right, you exist literally just to have sex, and then that's gonna be the end of your life. Okay, you comfortable with passing away as long as you didn't hit something, man. Okay, you ain't never learned about Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You ain't never obtained real wisdom. You just got some box and you good. All right, and this is why Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gonna destroy 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Jake is a beast. All right, and see, I see why Esau says what he says about you niggas, man. Okay, he calls you animals, but there's truth to that. Jake is in a beast-like state. Okay, well, we just read in 2 Peter, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai compares you niggas to beasts. All right, this is the book of Psalms 19:7. It says, the law of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is sure, making the wise simple. And Jake does not want to be wise. Jake is okay with being simple. All right. And a lot of you dudes out here, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you so simple that you get caught up with these women. Okay, they run circles around you. They'll dangle that box in front of you and have you do all manner of things in the hope that you can get it, man. Okay? And she'll never give it to you. All right, but see, if you had the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you would know how these women get down, man. Okay, but stay in your drone B state. Okay, it says the law of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is sure, making wise the simple. And this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding puts you on a level, man. Okay, not just with dealing with women, in all aspects of your life. The highest level of wisdom is contained in the scriptures. All right, and our people vehemently reject this. Okay, it says the statutes of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is clean, enduring forever. Okay, so this is never going to go away. This is always going to maintain its value throughout, the existence of this universe. Okay, as long as Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai exists, the fear of the Lord is going to endure. Okay, the worth of the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to endure. All right, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is not going anywhere. Okay, it says the judgments of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold. Hey, and gold is worth more than box, man. Okay, so you're supposed to desire this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding above anything. Okay, but Jake is so, on such a low vibration that he can't even put two and two together. Okay, he can't figure this out. All right, he's driven by the flesh and by pleasure and by things that he can feel physically with his body. Okay, Jake is not tapped into the spirit. All right, it says more to be desired than Salakia, more to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold. So massive amounts of fine gold, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is, to be desired more than that. Okay, sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Okay, moreover, by them is thy servant warned. Okay, and what's being spoken right now? We're warning you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of what's coming down the pipeline, man. All right, Jacob's Trouble, which we've been going into a lot. Okay, which we pretty much are right at the gate of Jacob's Trouble. What's Jake worried about? Jake worried about box, man. That's enough. That's foremost in Jake's mind, getting some box. All right, like a drone bee. He just sit around and he waits until it's time to have sex, man. And that's his life. Okay, and after he pops the queen, he dies. He's satisfied. Okay, after that, that's his whole life. He eats, sleep, and then the time comes for him to procreate, and then his life is over. That's what Jake is focused on, man. Okay, when your enemy Esau Edom is getting ready to come down upon you with great wrath, he getting ready to try to exterminate you, man. He want to finish the job that he started when he came over here. Okay, and what was Jake doing? You know, what's Jake worried about? What's at the foremost of Jake's mind? The vagina. Okay. It says, moreover, by them is thy servant warned. Okay. And in keeping of them, there is great reward. And where is that reward going to come from? When Yahushua comes back with the host of heaven. Okay, and even before that, okay, you read Isaiah the 65th chapter, the Most High said his servants shall eat. There's going to be a famine out here, man. Okay, the Most High is going to cause the food, the staff of bread to break. There ain't going to be no food out here for you to eat. The only ones that are going to be able to eat are those that fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, but since you focusing on box like the drone bee that you are, you ain't going to know what the hell to do when there's no food out here. Okay, you're going to look around and you're going to see there's going to be one individual in your mind, okay, really on display for you to follow, and that's going to be Esau Edom. He's going to present you with the Haragma, okay, and tell you got to get this, and if you don't get it, then your life is going to be over. You're going to starve to death. He going to put it on thick, all right, to make it seem like this is your only choice. And you being in a beast-like state that you are, you're going to believe him, okay? And you're going to side with him and you're going to be destroyed. All right, this is the book of Isaiah 33 and 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Okay, and we look this word stability up, it means tranquility or mental peace. Okay, so the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to give us mental peace in that day. Okay, why? Because we're going to know exactly what's going on. We're going to know what move to make in that time. Okay? And the moves that we're going to make, we're going to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, we're not going to deviate from what Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has presented us. Okay, when Esau Edom offers us that Haragma, we're going to reject it. Okay, we ain't siding with Esau Edom. We ain't siding with nobody else. We're going to stay on the side of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, and it don't matter what we go through for that. All right, we're going to maintain our integrity in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. What's the Heavenly Father going to do as a result of us doing that? Okay, he's going to reward us immensely. All right. But see, Jake don't have this understanding. So what is he going to do? He going to fold. Okay, when adversity comes upon Jake, Jake is not going to maintain their integrity. They're going to fold and they're going to bow down to Esau Edom. And you're going to lose. All right. And all Esau Edom got to do to get you niggas to get the Haragma, he just offer you some box. And Jake, you gonna follow the box to the Haragma, and you gonna be destroyed, man. Okay, you gonna give up your chance for being saved and living forever because of some vagina. That's low, man. Oh, that's what an animal would do that. Okay. All right, that's something an animal would do. Okay, if you had a dog in heat, a female dog in heat, and you had a male dog, he'll follow that female wherever. It don't matter where she go. Okay, because he's driven by his function, his lower function to procreate. All right, he'll follow that female dog off a cliff to his death. All right, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you'll do the same. All right. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. So what's going to get you delivered? Okay, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that you have. Nothing else. Not money. Okay, not these false philosophies that's out here. Okay, not how many people you may smile in a day, okay, or throughout your lifetime, okay? It's the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you have, and the reverence for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that you have. That's what's gonna get you saved, okay? That's what's gonna get you protected from the things that are coming down here to the earth, okay? It says the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, is his treasure. So this is a precious thing, okay? But when Jake sees this, they don't see it as precious, okay? They don't see it as something that's worth anything, okay? Why? Because it doesn't, fulfill their carnal needs, all right? It don't seem like we have money, okay? We out there on the highways and hedges. We don't know them niggas ain't got no money. If they had money, they wouldn't be out here doing this. Oh, they don't get no bitches. If they had bitches, they wouldn't be out here doing this, and so on and so forth, all right? Which none of that means anything, okay? Just because we out there, that don't mean we ain't got women. That don't mean we ain't got money, okay? A real man prioritizes certain things, okay? And a real man would prioritize Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai above those other things that I mentioned and anything else, okay? But the majority of the men of our nation, they're not real men, they're boys, okay? Well, really, they're beasts, all right? Me calling you a boy, that's an insult to the actual young men that's out there. All right, Jake is a fucking beast, man, and that's why Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai refers to you as one. Okay, on multiple occasions, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has compared you to beast. All right, and sometimes he even said the beasts are smarter than you niggas, man. Okay, this is the book of Hosea 4:6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee." And what is the knowledge that it's talking about here? It's not the knowledge of this world. Okay, it's not the knowledge that Esau Edom has available to you. Okay, it's the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, the proper understanding of the scriptures. Okay, which our people have rejected as a whole. All right, so since you rejected it, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to reject you. Okay, and the difference is you actually need this to survive. Okay, if you don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you're through. It's over for you. You ain't got no hope. Okay, but Jake is casting this thing off like it's a burden to him, man. All right, like this ain't beneficial to me at all. I don't even need to get into this thing. Okay, well, let me bring this out real quick. The scripture's popping in my mind. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 1:24. It says, "What shall I do unto thee, O Jacob? Thou Judah wouldest not obey me. I will turn me to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes." Now, it's not talking about the actual other nations, okay? The other nations here are talking about Israelites that fell away from their customs, okay? They're being called by these other names, all right? Are called by the names of these other nations or in the lands that they're living in. Just like us today. Okay, you would consider us Americans, all right? But Americans have no dealings with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. The Most High is not dealing with those individuals, okay? So that's what that's talking about, all right? Most High is calling us back to him. Okay, he ain't dealing with Moabites. He ain't looking for, Ammonites. Okay, he's looking for Israelites that are in these other nations that are practicing the customs of these other nations. Those are the ones that he's going to give his name to. All right. It says, "Seeing ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also. When ye desire me to be gracious unto you, I shall have no mercy upon you." And this is the worst case, that you can be in, man. All right, where Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has completely taken his mercy away from you. And this is the state that the majority of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be in, man. Because of the things that you chose to put above Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And you going to expect the Heavenly Father to have some kind of mercy on you when all hell's breaking loose, but the Most High ain't going to have mercy on you. Based upon your behavior that you exhibited when you came before Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? Because when Jake sees us, them being carnal, all they see is men. Okay? They don't see the presence that's behind us. They don't see Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai there. Okay? They don't feel the presence of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So they look at, oh, fuck these niggas. You know, forget them. Forget what they talking about. I don't want to hear shit that these niggas got to say. They ain't got no money. They ain't got no bitches. Okay? They look broke as hell. Why I'm going to listen to them? Nothing that they say is going to benefit me. Okay? And this is the mentality that you have towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because we're just some messengers. Okay? We've been commanded to come out here by under the orders of our power, okay, to come and speak to you. And this is your response to the messengers, which this is your response to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, because what the messengers do, they go to an individual, they give the message, okay, there's a response given, and that response gets told back to the original individual that sent the message. Okay, so when you come up and present yourself before Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you talk your shit, the Most High hears it. Okay, he takes note, all right, this dude, he said this, he said that. Okay, when the time comes for me, you know, for him to ask mercy from me, I ain't gonna give it to him, based upon how he responded to my initial request. Okay, it says, whensoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you, for ye have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And the Most High don't need you. Okay, the Most High does not need us. Our relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is beneficial for us. Okay, the Most High protects us. The Most High gives us covering. The Most High gives us food. Okay, he sustains us, man. All right, so for you to forsake that, you really fucking your own self up. Okay, because the Most High, he gonna continue to exist, with or without you worshiping him, praising him, and reverencing him. Okay, but it ain't the same for us. All right, if you don't praise and worship Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you're gonna be completely destroyed. Okay, up to the point of extermination if you continue down that path. All right, but Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he's not gonna do that. There is an elect of the nation of Israel that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna use these individuals to preserve the entire nation. Okay, continuing on, it says, thus saith the Almighty Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughters, and as a nurse her young babes, that ye would be my people, and I should be your power, that ye would be my children, and I should be your father? I gather you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, but now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. And that's exactly what happened. That's why we're not in our land no more. Okay, it says, when ye offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. Okay, see, and this is what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to do again. Okay, because the Heavenly Father is having mercy on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans now by sending the prophets to you. Okay, that's the presence of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. The Most High is turning his face towards you again. He turned his back to you when the so-called white man came over here and conquered you. Okay, when he rounded you up on the west coast of Africa and put you in them cargo slave ships, man. The Heavenly Father's back was facing you. Now he's turning his face to you, and Jake got a problem. All right, Jake don't want nothing to do with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, so the Most High is gonna turn his back to you again, and this time it's gonna be worse than slavery. Okay, it says, when ye offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. For your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken. I sent unto you my servants the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So you got to pay for what you did to the prophets. Okay, and these individuals that come up scoffing and scorning, okay, they're just the prophet killers coming back. All right. The Most High is not going to allow you to do that to his prophets this go around, okay, because that's not in his program. But if you had the power, you would put the prophets to death again. You don't want to hear the message that the prophets have to say, okay? But guess what? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to require their blood at your hands. You got to pay for what you did to the messengers of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, okay? This is back in the book of Hosea 4 and 6. All right, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Okay, that thou shalt be no priest to me. And what is an Israelite if he's not a priest? Okay, if you are not a servant of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, what role do you play down here on the earth? It's non-existent. The Most High has no other purpose for an Israelite outside of being a priest. outside of being the servant of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So if you don't want to play that role, the Most High has no use for you. He gonna destroy you. Okay? You gotta fulfill your purpose. And if you ain't fulfilling your purpose, the Most High gonna get rid of you. What do I need an individual down here that ain't gonna play his role? All right? I created this thing to do this and it don't do it. You gonna throw it in the trash. All right? It says that thou should be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. You are the children of those individuals that forsook Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why the Most High is against you. Okay? And that's why heavy judgment is getting ready to befall you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it's all warranted, man. Just look at Jake's behavior towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and towards the servants of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You can see why the Most High gonna do what he's getting ready to do. Okay, and the Most High is so pissed off that he's getting ready to unleash your worst enemy upon you, man. Esau, Edom. Okay, and really Amalek. All right, and Amalek is sick. Okay, he is a sick puppy, man. He gonna do all manner of wickedness and evil to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, you got all kind of torture devices. You got electrodes that he gonna put on you and shock you. But then there comes the other side of, okay, the super perverse side, and he gonna do it to you. All right, the same thing he doing to them Palestinians, he gonna do that to you in them damn concentration camps, man. Keep playing with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Keep thinking this is a joke, man. Okay, the Most High is going to open the floodgates on you. All right, this is Proverbs 1:20. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And Jake is simple as hell. All right, you living for what's between a woman's legs is simple as hell, man. That's a person that's mentally retarded. Okay, that's what your whole life consists of. You gotta get some vagina, you know. Get vagina and get money. That's Jake's mentality. All right, simple as hell. Okay, it says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. And Jake rejects knowledge. Okay, Jake hates the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, it says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And that's what's taking place when we go out there on the highways and hedges. Okay, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is pouring out his spirit to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Because when we go out there, we're breaking the scriptures down. All right, we're pouring out the understanding that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has given us. Okay, and if you're able to attach yourself to what's being dispensed and absorb it, you're going to be attached to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and the Most High will protect you when, you know, the time of trouble comes. All right. It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So you're going to receive the proper understanding of the scriptures. Okay, which is a complete mystery to the vast majority of the people that dwell on the earth, man. Okay, you got people that go to school for years studying the Bible. They still don't understand it. Okay, here it is. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is pointed out to you freely on the street. Okay. It says, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. So when all hell breaks loose, you getting jacked up, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gonna laugh at you and make fun of you like you made fun of his servants. Okay, look at this dude, he's starving, he ain't got no food. Okay. All right, instead of, you know, these dudes don't get no pussy, this nigga ain't got nothing to eat. All right, he ain't got no food, man. Where's food at? You know, and we got food. Why this nigga ain't got food? And it's a famine. All right, the Most High gonna mock you niggas, man. He gonna make fun of your misery. All right, through his servants. All right, it says, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your desolation cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. So you're going to try to call on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and the Most High ain't going to answer. You ain't getting no response. Okay? Meanwhile, you're going to see other individuals that's calling on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and they getting a response. You're going to wonder what the difference is between you and them. And then everything is going to click. Okay? Oh, I rejected Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. I rejected that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I was talking shit about his servants, man. Look, now I'm paying for it. Now I'm through. Now I ain't got no food. Now I'm starving. And look at them. They good. All right? It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early. And that's the thing about Jake, man. As soon as Jake starts to, deal with some kind of adversity, they call on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? They might not know the name, but they try to call on the Heavenly Father for help, man. They ask God for help. Okay? And a lot of individuals out there, they actually know the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So they're going to actually try to call on the names. Ain't nothing going to happen for them. Okay? They're going to try to pray vehemently. They're going to, bow down, try to do it, over and over again. And Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is not going to answer. Okay? Meanwhile, you might see another individual, they call on a name and the Most High is dealing with them. Okay? And you're going to wonder, what's wrong with me? Why didn't the Most High answer me? Because you a damn demon. All right? You want to be a drone bee instead of being a priest to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. It says, they shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, you rejected this treasure. Okay, so Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to reject you. All right, the only way for you to, be able to deal with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you have to have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, you have to have the fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's how you're able to tap into his spirit and get a response from him. If you don't have that, the Most High is not going to acknowledge you. Okay, this is basically the key to, being on the good side of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? It says they were none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices, which basically means you're going to be destroyed. Okay? Because the things that you are into, it's not profitable for salvation. Okay? The things that you are into is not going to be able to save you when all hell breaks loose. Okay? It's not going to save you during a time of trouble. All right? The only one that can do that is Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, but you put multiple things above Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and above receiving this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? And all those things had to consist of you feeling good, you being in the flesh. That was more important to you, okay, than actually getting this understanding that's super beneficial to you. Okay, and able to save your soul. All right? It says, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. And that's exactly what's going to happen. All right, so I just wanted to go into that. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai willing. It was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone. Shalom.